Thank you, gracias. Buenas tardes, everybody. Yes. Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. Okay, great to be with you. And great that you're here together. Now, I'm going to talk from a piece of paper that's on your chairs. So you get to take it with you if you like it. I'm going to talk about how democracy and economic justice are the same, following up on what Judith just talked to us about democracy. And how are these movements linked? And this is in Inglés y Español. One side Inglés, one side Español. Thanks to the sister from Iowa who translated this for me. So, the most important thing today is that you're here together. As I'm going to discuss, we need to tear down the walls. We need to fight together in new ways. We need to get out of silos where we're separated. We need to get in the streets where we're together. And I'm so proud of all of you that in just 1 hour you'll be taking action together. And tomorrow morning you'll be taking action together. Now on Friday in Minneapolis, the young leaders of CWA called Next Generation had their meeting in Minneapolis, and I couldn't be prouder to tell you that they went to the Wells Fargo Bank with Take Action Minnesota and Direct Action on Friday and lay down in the bank with $100 bills for the 1% taped to their mouths. We have to tear down the walls. Union brothers and sisters, tear down the walls. Domestic workers, tear down the walls. NPA, tear down the walls. Get in the streets. Get in their face. Get in their face. Get in their face. What is this about? Why is this new? Because for years, a lifetime, we fought for economic justice. In our union, for 10 years, our goals were these 4 goals. Secure jobs, fair trade, healthcare for all, retirement security, bargaining and organizing rights. 25 years ago, we started Jobs with Justice. And today, workers' rights are worse than they were then. Today, secure jobs seem out of reach for almost all of us here. Today, our healthcare, the caring across generations, it's slipping away. Today, pensions are almost part of your imagination. Almost no workers in this country have pensions. And we can look at our partner issues like the DREAM Act, or climate change, or fighting foreclosures, or even the very modest goals you see on the left. President Obama's goals, they are really modest. They will not get us the change we need. But even those goals, they are blocked. They're going nowhere. Fairer taxes, infrastructure, public services. So what's the problem? The problem, as Judith told us, our whole agenda, doesn't matter who we are, 700,000 CWAers, millions of organized workers, National Domestic Workers Alliance, NPA activists from all the states who are here, the progressive movement as a whole. It doesn't matter who we are. We can be green or black or brown or labor or old or young. It doesn't matter who we are. Our agenda is blocked by the limits of the democracy, not just ALEC, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. You'll be marching near where they are. That's the heart of the enemy on Lafayette Park. The large corporations, not just the banks. It's all of them. So look at the wall here in blue. What are the limits of our democracy? Campaign finance. This democracy is owned by corporate America as it has never been in the history of this country. It is owned. It is owned by corporate America. It's almost impossible for one of you, one of us, to run for office unless we have millions of dollars to run. And that ain't right. The Senate rules. 400 bills passed in the last session of Congress. Not this one, the last one. 400. The DREAM Act. The Employee Free Choice Act, decent health care, all kinds of economic stimulus, 400 bills. They didn't get discussed on the floor of the U.S. Senate for 1 second. That ain't right. Not for 1 second. Because of the worst filibuster rules in the history of this country. Even in the 1960s, 47 years ago when the Voting Rights Act was passed, those racist senators from Alabama and Georgia and Mississippi, they had to stand up. They had to talk all night. They had to spew their hatred. And watch America watch, and eventually they couldn't talk anymore, and those bills were passed. Today, all they have to do is put up their hand, one of them. The Senate operates like the Senate of ancient Rome, by unanimous consent, and that ain't right. And voter suppression, you just heard from Judith. I'm not going through it again. But what we fought for, the people before us, 47 years ago in that Voting Rights Act, it's all up for grabs. 38 states passing legislation to take back our voting rights, and that ain't right. And so many of us here are immigrants, and now we are faced with the worst obstacles to legalization or citizenship that immigrants ever faced. As I tell our members recently in South Carolina, where many of them think, why are we united with immigrants? I say to them, when most of our families came to this country, whether they crossed the border from Mexico or came in steerage from Europe, there were no immigration laws at all. Before 1920, there were no rules to limit immigration to this country. Anyone could come. If they wanted citizenship in 5 years, they got it. So when people say, oh, my forefathers followed the rules, there weren't any rules. All they had to do was come across the border. And so, if we can focus on the limits in this democracy, but also dream and aim higher for the economic justice that we demand, and we put both together, and we tear down our own rules, our own walls, and think of new ways to unite and fight, new ways to dream, new opportunities to stand up and fight back. We can put hope back in our lives. We can reach our dreams. We can fight together and win. We can say to the 1%, you've had your day, this is our day. And so, as you take action this afternoon, you're there for all of us. And more we'll take direct action together, whether it's workers, or students, or Greens, or immigrants, or